Okay, take 32 because apparently I can't get this intro cut down to under 30 minutes. So, hello, welcome to the first tutorial done by Brackeys. I am the CEO of Brackeys. And today I'm going to show you how to create a survival game. This is probably gonna be a whole series because this can't be done in just one single tutorial. And yes, let's see where this brings us. So I have opened up a new Unity project. It's completely empty. And you can just do this by going to File, New Project. And I did not import any assets. So this tutorial is for the beginner to the intermediate, mostly for beginners, and then we'll move on to the harder parts later. So, okay, let's start out by creating a ground plane for our character to move on. This is going to be a first-person game. So go to Game Object, create Other, and then Cube. And let's make sure that this is in the center of the scene by going to a transform on the right hand side and zeroing out the X, Y, and Z transform. So by simply highlighting the cube in the hierarchy and then taking my mouse to the perspective view and pressing F, it will zoom in on the highlighted objects. All right, now let's scale this on the X to about 50. On the Y, you can just leave that at 1, and the Z to, again, 50. So now we have quite a huge ground plane for our character to stand on. Let's go to hierarchy on the left-hand side, rename this to ground plane. Make sure that you notice that Unity is cap sensitive, so I type everything in one word with every word starting with a capital letter. But just make sure that you find your own system and stick to it. Alright, so now let's import a character. Unity has a database with default characters that you can import. Also different kinds of packages. So go right click on the assets window, go to import package, and then character controller. This is the scripts and click import. This is the scripts and graphics that will make sure that we can walk around and interact with physics in our scene. Now you should get a folder called standard assets. Double click on this, double click on the folder called character controllers, and then just take the first person controller and drag it onto the plane anywhere you want. Now if we hit F again, you can see that the character is indeed there in form of a cylinder. And let's just drag it up a little bit so it won't fall through the ground when we start playing the game. Okay, right now our scene isn't very exciting. It is not going to be very exciting in this tutorial, but we can at least make some light. So go to create game object, create other, and then point light. So this is, as the name describes it, light emitting from one single point in a radius. Let's just drag this up so we can see the light emitting now. Drag this up quite a bit and then increase the range on the right hand side to about, let's say, 30, 40, maybe 50. Maybe, yeah, 50 looks fine. So now we can navigate in our scene by pressing the play button, or Control P or Command P if you're on a Mac. So now here in the game view, you can walk around, jump, and look anywhere you want. And if you walk by the ground plane, you'll be falling. So we already have the most basic game mechanics in place. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create a skybox to make the heaven look a little less blue. And after that, we'll be creating a house. And then in the next tutorial, we'll look at the simple coding and some game mechanics, including shooting. So now let's just first of all delete the object called main camera. We won't be needing this because the first person controller comes with a camera. So if you go to the first person controller in the hierarchy and expand this with the little arrow, you can see the main cam there. And over here on the right hand side, you can now see all the components that this main camera has on it, has attached to it. And we can go ahead and add one by clicking add component, then going to rendering, and then skybox. So this wants something inserted to it. So let's import some default skyboxes by going to our assets folder, then hitting import, right clicking, import package, and then skyboxes. So you will see this importing, and this will give us about 5, maybe 6 skyboxes that we can use. So double click on the standard assets when it's done, then skyboxes, and you can see all the different skyboxes. Now, again, press on the main camera, and then we can simply try to click and drag into the empty slots on the right hand side, and you can see it appearing in the game view. So let's try the Dawn Dusk. This was the one that we used for the game called Kill Pill. You can find that on our Facebook page, the first one. We used this. And oh, by the way, to maximize any window, I just hover my mouse over it and then press the space button. This will maximize and minimize. That's a pretty cool feature. Okay, so let's just go with something a little more happy, the sunny. Yes, this one. I like this one. Yes, that's very nice. Okay, so now that we have our skybox in the scene, we can go ahead and create a house. So go to game objects, create other, and then cube. And keep in mind throughout this tutorial that Unity is a game engine. It is not meant to be modeling or texturing or anything like that. It just handles the scripting and the piecing everything together. It's not meant to do this. I'll just create a simple structure just to so you can get familiar with the environment. But please do this in other applications if you want something looking good. Okay. So I have zeroed out the transform. Now we can just drag it up a little bit to see it and hit F to maximize it. And let's make this into a wall. So we'll make it longer, and by holding down Control, I can snap it. But let's just type in a value. Let's type in maybe 5. No, this is too small. 10. And on the Y, we want it to be like, yes, 5. And I'll drag it on top of the plane, so it's just resting there. We could type in a preset number. This won't be necessary. This is fine. Now we can go ahead and name this house wall 1. So wall 1. And then Control D to duplicate it and rename this to house wall 02. So now if we drag up, you can see that there are 2 walls, and we can position them anywhere we want. Click on one, hold down Shift, click on the other to select them both, and then just drag them. And let's duplicate them both. Call them house wall 3 and house wall 4, and then we can rotate them. So go to the rotation Y and type in 90 degrees. So rotate them accordingly. So now we can just drag this down to the side. Do the same thing with number 3, so just rotate 90 degrees and then just drag and drag. So make sure that they are even, they're pretty even. This is really bad. Okay, so now we can just drag out the walls to make it like cubic. And there you go, we have a sealed room. You can delete one of the walls if you want, and just play around with this to make a smaller structure, something that our player, when we play the game, can hide in, shelter in, interact with. So that is pretty much the basics of Unity 3D. Next time we'll be stepping it up. We'll be creating some shooting mechanics, and after that we'll be creating some enemies that will spawn and interact just like zombies. So yes, thank you for watching. Now, as mentioned earlier, I am the CEO of a firm called Brackeys. We are working on our first iOS title to be released on both the iPad and the iPhone, and it's called Your Game. I think it's really exciting. I will be making updates and everything you can get on facebook.com/Brackeys, and soon to come our website, brackeys.com. Click the links and support it. It means a lot. We're just regular people trying to get out on the web with something we make. And if you want a little heads up on what we are creating, something in that style, you can go to the Congregate website. There are the second version of the game I talked about earlier called Kill Pill. And you can just search for Kill Pill Tropic Island. You can also find this on our website. It's very fun, it's very easy, and thank you for watching.